Hello and welcome to another episode of Lyrical Innuendo. I'm your host Bubbawheat, and with me, as always, is my co-host Nick Rehak. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty swell, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and this is a podcast where we ask the ultimate question: is this song about sex, drugs, or is it just rock and roll? But we are also doing something a little bit special because my other podcast, It's Time to Rewind, is on a hiatus between seasons. So I thought that this would be a good time to do a crossover episode. So this is also an episode of It's Time to Rewind. And, the reason for that will become pretty clear pretty quickly because for this episode, the song that I chose is Come Into My World by Kylie Minogue, which is from her 8th studio album Fever, released in 2001. And the big reason for this, for me choosing this, is because of the music video, which was directed by Michel Gondry, and it features I think I would call it like a cumulative time loop, where Kylie goes in, like walks in a circle around a block in this French market area,
Mhm.
and every time she goes around the loop kind of restarts, and she meets she walks by her iteration from the first loop, and not only that, but every single extra in the background is also being duplicated each iteration of the loop. It goes through like four almost, and like into a fifth time, and by the end of it, it is just absolute chaos.
Huh. I'll have to watch that. That sounds very similar to a Donald Glover or Childish Gambino. I think the song is called Sweatpants. I'll have to double check, but it sounds very similar in that they do a particular loop, and every time they loop, there's like more versions of him as extras and everything. So I'll for sure have to check that out.
Yeah, it's uh, there's another one there's also Redundant by Green Day. That music video is kind of similar. I think that one, it's not so much a cumulative time loop, but it's like each kind of loop, there's like one person doing an action, and then each time they complete that, then a second person, then an additional person is added,
Hmm.
and then like halfway through the song, it's like a ton of people doing these repetitive, loops, and then
Okay.
they're one by one removed until it gets back to the single person at the end of the song.
Interesting. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
but
Sounds pretty cool.
but other than I guess you haven't watched the video, but what's your experience with this song?
Listening to it for this podcast. I knew of Kylie Minogue. I think everybody knew that song "Can't Get You Out of My Head." But outside of
Which
that,
was actually on this same album, I believe.
and you know what? When listening to this, I was like, man, there's like similar chord progressions or something because there was like little micro similarities here and there. And listening to "Can't Get You Out of My Head" was like kind of it. And then that's all I really knew of her. And then when you said this song, I was like, yeah, okay, let's listen to some Kylie Minogue. So
Yeah,
that's kind of
and
it.
I don't remember if I saw this on MTV, but Palm Pictures, they put out a series of directors labeled DVDs,
Mm-hmm.
which has each one is from a different music video director. They have Michel Gondry, they have Mark Cunningham, Mark Romanek,
Mm-hmm.
like some of the big ones.
Any David Fincher? Because I know he was a music video director for a while, which is always crazy when you look and you see what film directors used to be music video directors, and then you go back and look at their music videos, and you're like, oh no, I totally see it. Like I get it. Like Michel Gondry, like his stuff is so wild and so inventive. Like just you saying he alone directed that video immediately makes me want to go see it. Like it doesn't matter who's singing the song, what's the song's about. If he's involved, like I want to see it.
Yeah, but like I've got the it's
Oh,
right
very
here.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. With the what was that, Fell in Love with a Girl when they do the Lego version?
Yeah, I mean, he's like, and this DVD has a ton. Like, he does like a little intro on there, and he says that, he decided to go for quantity, like over additional special features. So there's no commentary tracks. Like some of them have commentary tracks. Like, I think it's, I believe it's Mark Romanek that's he did like Nine Inch Nails Closer and Fiona
Mhm.
Apple Criminal. Um, that had there's a lot of commentary tracks on that DVD.
See, that's what I would be interested in, unless they did a pop-up video type thing where they show the music videos with like little blurbs of fun facts. Like that would be, I'd be all for that.
Yeah, but some of the other ones that he's directed, The Hardest Button to Button, Dead Leaves on the
Oh
Dirty
yeah.
Ground, Fell in Love with a Girl, like the Hardest Button to Button. That's the one with the repeating drum sets.
Like like jumping out almost like levels
Like,
in an EQ or something.
well, no, it's
Not an
like
EQ.
every beat of the drum, there's an additional drum set, and it like keeps jumping, and then there's like just this string of drum sets that keeps increasing.
Which one am I thinking of?
I'm not sure. Let's see. He also did like "Let Forever Be," "Dead Weight" by Beck, "Around the World" by Daft Punk,
Mhm.
"Like a Rolling Stone" by the Rolling Stones, "Army of Me."
Sounds like he's done like a whole lot, like way more than you'd expect.
Yeah, he like pretty much any like you know weird, visually interesting music video that does something like extremely trippy, especially from like the 90s or 2000s. It's
Mm.
good. It's good odds that it's Michel Gondry.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Because then he kind of blew up in that middle to late aughts. You know what I mean? He had Science of Sleep. He had what's the big one whose names escape me, written by Charlie Kaufman. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Like he definitely, his visual stamp has been places.
Yeah. But for those listening, we're going to take a quick break, and if you haven't heard it before, we're going to play a quick clip for you right now.
Take these arms that were made for loving, and this heart that will beat for two. Take these eyes that were meant for watching over you. And I've been such a long time waiting for someone I could call my own. I've been chasing the life I'm dreaming. Now I'm home. I'm home.
Hi, I'm Lisa Leahy, and I'm the host of Pictures and Conversations, a rabbit hole book club. Each month on the 20th, I'm joined by a group of fellow book lovers, and we discuss a book in our typically nerdy fashion.
As we continue to not talk about the book that we're not supposed to talk about. Anyway,
I admittedly too, I'm totally weird about the way I read things. Sometimes I just completely devour books, and I'm usually reading 3 or 4 at the same time. So I just pick up whatever strikes my mood. I have something I read before I go to bed, and I read murder mysteries before bed.
But I liked it good enough. Like, no, it doesn't go super deep into developing these characters. Definitely not. Is it Harry Potter for adults? Absolutely
No.
not.
Anyway, you can find Pictures and Conversations, a rabbit hole book club podcast, anywhere you get your podcasts or on our home website, rabbitholepodcasts.com.
Yeah, so I picked this song mostly for the music video because it is like really insane, and in fact, let's see, it's only 4 minutes. You know, have actually, how about we pause? Why don't you? Can you pull up the video right now?
Yep. Let me do that right now.
The thing that I really like about this video is like there's like I've watched this, even the past couple days I've watched this video like probably 5 or 6 times, and I always see something new.
I would say it definitely seems like a video that, as repetitious as it is, You're gonna find like little things here and there. Like I feel like this is something Edgar Wright would do for sure. Like these long
Mhm.
extended takes like this, and you can kind of see like what businesses the signs are real versus like what people are real and what they're doing. Like they the amount of choreography to go into this is probably insane. Like you got these people that all of a sudden just appear and they're on ladders. You've got people throwing mattresses out over and over again, assumedly. Like
Mhm.
it's just it's a lot going on.
Yeah, and on top of that, this was done in one. Well, I mean, it wasn't necessarily done in one take,
Mhm.
but it simulates a one take shot.
Yeah,
There are no cuts.
that we see to the human eye.
Yeah,
But
which
regardless,
I mean, it is.
it's wild.
Yeah, I imagine it's possible that they could have choreographed it to be in one take, and then they just digitally added, all the earlier takes together.
Oh, for sure. Like you couldn't do this on film. You would have to do this digitally unless you had someone that was that good a body double and like exact, or you go the social network route where you do the Winklevoss twins, but there's different physical bodies, but it's just the head that's superimposed, which I guess is still digital. But
Mm.
like even looking at this, it's you. I don't think you could do this on film. Super cool though. Like the further along the video goes, like you said, the more chaotic it gets, and it
Yeah,
is. Man, this is getting gnarly.
yeah, and the more that you watch, it's like all these characters, these extra characters. It's like they're each one has its own little story that you can kind of follow,
Yeah.
and some of the characters they show up in different places, like the old woman that comes out of the door at the very beginning, like right behind Kylie, and like the third loop then you see her on the other side of the street, um, like picking fruit from the fruit
hmm
stand.
Yeah.
And then some of them are simple, like the guy on the ladder. There's just you know 4 to 5 ladders by the end,
Yeah. A
and then
couple
you
dudes.
have the couple that's breaking up, and she's throwing stuff out of, by the end, it's 3 different windows,
Yeah.
throwing a bunch of stuff. And then you have the um like the moped guy that knocks over the other guy's mopeds, and that becomes, they start fighting with each other, and the fight becomes even more chaotic. And then you also have like simpler ones, like the old guy in a wheelchair. It's like he's just kind of there in the background, and he's one of the
They're
ones
just
that you
hanging
probably
out.
don't see, because like the first time he's kind of at the end of the street, so he's really small, and then um, eventually he comes up and he's there, like much larger in frame, so you see him. And then there's like the 2 benches that are back to back that have the couple just making out. And then there's, it starts with one on one corner, and then they're both sitting next to each other, and
Yeah.
then they're sitting on the other side, and then they're taking up all 4 spots on the 2 benches that are back to back. And then there's the like posts, and there's a kid just like balancing and jumping, stepping from post to post.
Yeah. He's
And
just gonna
it's
hurt himself.
and there's just so much
Yeah.
going on. Like the guy that's, another more simple one is the guy putting up posters, and he's putting up the one poster, and then it's just 4 different posters. And then there's a guy that's like sweeping the sidewalk, and then there's a kid that's like trying to skateboard. And like by the end again, and like the meter maid that's
Yeah.
like,
There's like they're lined up to hand out tickets.
yeah, it's like the first time around she's just looking at the car, and then I think it's the third one that actually puts the ticket under the windshield wiper.
hmm
And then the fourth time around the guy shows up, and then the fifth time around, like at the very end, then he's like getting into the car, and there's 5 meter maids just standing right there.
Or you even have even this really, really simple one that catches my eye every time when she goes past the guy that's pasting up posters. Just before she gets to the fellow on the corner in the wheelchair, there's this guy walking by with a potted plant. And here comes this red car, and he just lifts the potted plant up as the car drives past and then lowers the potted plant back down. I don't know what it is about that, but I'm just like, okay. Like, I'm here for it, man. Sure.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that works really well too is Kylie herself, because she's always in frame.
Yeah.
And so you're starting out just following the one Kylie, and then you got the two Kylies, and at one point the first Kylie like spins around a lamppost, and then the second Kylie goes under her arm,
Mhm.
and then like that choreography gets more and more complicated as you get to the third and fourth Kylie, and they each have like a different moment where they come up close to the camera, and like during one of the big lines, like the "I need your love" and things like that.
And the choreography in that too of just like, how do you know how far to bend down when you're walking under like her arm, even though like clearly she's not there? You know what I mean? Like, that's just
Mhm.
having that foresight and understanding of like, this is how far you have to lean. And like, and on top of all that, she has to remember all of this walking and placement. And then on top of that, she's got to mouth along to the song and know all the words. Like, you mess up one little part, back to the start. Something like this, I'd love to know. How was it? A day? Was it 2 days? Like, how long did it take? Like, just there's all these different questions, and it's a bummer that we don't get answers, assumedly on the DVD, because he wanted to put more videos on there than special features.
Yeah, like on the Wikipedia, I didn't get a super clear answer, but I believe it said that it took 15 days, and that includes
15 days.
but that includes the planning, like that's not all shooting days, but that's
I guess editing is in there too. Then.
so let's go ahead and get into the lyrics, which I mean, the lyrics are relatively simple, but like I let me hear your take first.
For me, it just sounds like someone's being a little sultry, maybe a little seductive, and they're at a club somewhere or something, and they're just like, "Hey, why don't you come home with me? Like, step into my world. Like, I need some love tonight. You could use some too. Let's go hang out and see what happens," kind of thing. Very repetitive song, and especially like how she sings it. Very like breathy and like kind of a higher octave, I think, than what I'm used to hearing her sing. Then again, I've only heard one song, so compared to that one song, a little bit higher of an octave, but definitely like very. It's like a very beckoning song, and again, it's like very sultry, very seductive, and it's catchy, and then it kind of like fades out, but then it's catchy again. Like, it's this weird thing of kind of in it and not, like, the pacing gets weird on the song, if that makes sense. But it's just really it's kind of a simple song. Take these arms that were made for loving, and this heart will beat for two. Okay, got it. Like, it's not overly complex. There's not like a lot of metaphors and similes and everything. It's just like, hey, here's how I'm feeling. I could use some love. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's someone that's longing for a relationship. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that this is I don't think it's overly sexual. I think
No.
even though I think there are a few lines that you could put on some sexuality too, but to it. But I do think that it is, it's more about someone looking for a longer term relationship, and it's something that's more meaningful and not just like a one night stand.
For sure, especially when you have lines like "So free your love," or into the chorus, "Won't you lift me up high upon your love?" A lot of it keeps relying on that word love, and like you said, just that like kind of that longing, that wanting a long term relationship, and I think it all works for the song. At no point does it feel like kind of out of place. At no point is it like, that line doesn't really match with the rest of the song. Like, it all just comes together and it works really well.
Yeah, and even just the whole come into my world, it's she wants someone to to literally come into her world, like someone to live with her, be a part of her existence, and and again that's to me that reads as something deeper and more meaningful and long term, and not just short term.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially end of the first verse, I've been chasing the life I'm dreaming, now I'm home. And then even the pre-chorus, I need your love like night needs morning. It reminds me of like I can't think of the song. It was like this dance techno song in the late 90s, early aughts where it's like I wish I remember the name. The line goes, I turn to you like the water needs the desert, something like that. But it's just that it's
Like
just really simple
like
and
the
long to
desert
kind of
needs
say.
your rain, like the
That's
desert
what
needs
it
the
is.
rain.
Yes, like the desert needs the rain. Yeah, it's very just kind of simple like that. And with that song, it's more of just like matter of fact. This one, a little coy at times, you could say, but again, just that like playful beckoning, and not necessarily a like steadfast, strong, independent woman that's demanding your attention. She's just like, hey, come on over here for a little bit, and then see what happens.
All right, so final verdict: is this song about sex, drugs, or is it just rock and roll?
I'm gonna lean rock and roll on this. You could go light sex, sure, but I'm not. It's not like she's saying what you're gonna do to me or what I'm gonna do to you. There's no like talking up of game, if you will. It's more of just like talking about the idea of love and that relationship. So I'm gonna stick with rock and roll.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to put it in the sex category, but the I think I'm going to clarify that as it's romantic, the relationship, and not just like one night stand type of
Right.
sex. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining me again. What do you have anything going on your end that's that you want to share?
Not presently. Just if you're out there listening to other rabbit hole podcasts, be it Fit for a King or Into Hellmouth, there's a third one that I've edited. I've been doing some edits here and there for Jason, helping him out. I like to put little stingers and teases at the ends of episodes. So when you go to listen to some of these episodes, listen all the way through, because there's always something just a little fun on the end.
Yeah, I always like doing that on a lot of my episodes in the past. It's fun doing those things,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and speaking of editing on my end, when this comes out, just last week, I Rabbit Hole Podcast on the Sporadicast feed released the Clerks audio drama, which
Ooh.
I produced, and I also was Dante in that. So kind of the biggest part, and that was a big editing deal for me as
Oh,
well,
that's what's
because
up.
not just besides just kind of tightening up the dialogue, because you really want that Kevin Smith pacing for that movie,
Of course.
but also I added sound effects and
Nice.
all these extra little touches, and a little bit of music cues here and there, nothing, hopefully nothing too distracting, but like the hockey scene, I added some hockey sound effects in the
Have
background,
to.
and
Yeah, you have to. That's
um,
great.
yeah, and for the um, whenever Jay and Silent Bob are dancing, it's just the narrator describing it because it's an audio podcast, but I did include a bit of music for that, and a few other little surprises here and there, but it
Okay.
was a lot of work, but I think it turned out really well, and I'd really love for people to hear it.
Awesome.
And if you're listening to this on the It's Time to Rewind feed, come on over. I'm still doing this show. Lyrical Innuendo is not on hiatus. We come out every other Friday. So until the next season comes up, I still want to listen to me. Come here. Nick and I talk about some songs over there. And Until next time, na 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 Batman.